As a music lover or nerd, it is expected to keep up with the trend in the industry. And that contains information about the richest musicians in the world in 2022. Every emerging musician must be prepared to learn basic marketing or business skills, in addition to songwriting and playing an instrument, to make the top, just like the following top 10 richest musicians in the world we've listed in this video on Uranus TV. Number 10. Dolly Parton, $805 million. Dolly Parton came from humble beginnings. When she graduated from high school, she moved to Nashville, the next day to follow a career as a musician. Initially, Parton achieved success as a songwriter with many charting singles. Finally, she worked to become a successful singer, though her path needed to be more complication-free. Parton is famous for having invested much of her earnings into Tennessee-based businesses. That contains the Dollywood Company, which is responsible for Dollywood, Dollywood Splash Country, and other themed entertainment platforms. What makes Parton even more outstanding is her likability. For proof, look no further than the New York Times, indicating that she is one of the few figures who appeal to Americans of seemingly every background. Number 9. Dr. Dre, $920 million. Speaking of which, Dr. Dre is another perfect instance of a successful musician who utilized it to make a second fortune in business. Remarkably, he was a significant figure in the West Coast hip-hop of the 1980s and 1990s. Later, he became an influential producer, as indicated by his signing of Eminem in 1998 and then 50 Cent in 2002. Towards the late 2000s, Dr. Dre established his headphone brand, Beats by Dr. Dre, which would ultimately be sold to Apple for $3 billion in 2014. He probably didn't get all that money, but he got a good-sized chunk of it. Number 8. Madonna, $940 million. The Queen of Pop has the extraordinary ability to reinvent herself again and again. A power that has allowed her to stay relevant since 1983. Amusingly, Madonna is so good at commanding interest that there is a field called Madonna Studies, which has acquired much backlash but makes sense because of the sheer impact that the artist has had on American culture. Inherently, Madonna's influence has come hand in hand with her commercial hit. Gigwise states that she is the single highest-grossing solo touring artist. Number 7. Herb Alpert, $950 million. Herb Alpert was once the leader of Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. As such, he is the sole person who has had both a #1 song on the Billboard Hot 100 as a singer and a #1 song on the Billboard Hot 100 as an instrumentalist. Business-wise, Alpert is also a co-founder of A&M Records. That record label no longer exists as an independent entity. However, its effect can be seen in how its artists once had but were not restricted to Sting, Bryan Adams, Sheryl Crow, Soundgarden, and the Carpenters. Number 6. Sean Combs, $900 million. A lot of singers have launched their record labels after seeing musical success. Amusingly, Sean Combs was the contrary in that he found his record label before becoming a musician. Still, it appears safe to state that he knew precisely what he was doing because his debut single, Can't Nobody Hold Me Down, went #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Since then, Combs' entrepreneurship has seen him becoming engaged in everything from clothing to restaurants and the infrastructure for competitive gaming, which are collected under the aegis of his Combs Enterprises. To stay up to date with our latest videos, make sure to subscribe and press the notification bell button to get some interesting stuff in upcoming videos. Number 5. Andrew Lloyd Webber, $1.2 billion. Primarily, Andrew Lloyd Webber is famous for being a musical theater composer. Even if people don't remember his name, chances are good that they will realize his works. After all, they have but are not restricted to Cats, Jesus Christ Superstar, and School of Rock. On top of that, some of Webber's songs, like Memory and Don't Cry for Me Argentina, have become famous even outside the works that contain them. Put together, Webber can be regarded as either the most successful or one of the most successful songwriters to ever work as such. Number 4. Paul McCartney, $1.3 billion. Paul McCartney's time singing and songwriting in the Beatles often surpassed everything that came later. Despite that, it should be noted that his post-Beatles career was very booming in its own right. This was true for his solo work. Also, this was true for his time with Wings, one of the most influential bands of the 1970s. As The Independent reports, McCartney has consistently run up the list of the wealthiest musicians in the United Kingdom. The runner-up has always been Andrew Lloyd Webber. Number 3. Jay-Z, $1.4 billion. If individuals are asked to name a power couple from the music industry, chances are good that they would quote Jay-Z and Beyoncé. He is another rapper who became famous in the 1980s and 1990s. Then, Jay-Z went into business, therefore allowing him to go from being a millionaire to being a billionaire. His entrepreneurial hits have helped him. Just in 2021, Jay-Z became the chief visionary officer of a cannabis products company. Number 2. Rihanna, $1.7 billion. Rihanna has been an active singer since 2003. During that time, she has become the second best-selling female musician. Besides this, Rihanna has been very active in spending her money to make more money through business. For example, she is interested in clothing, cosmetics, and even a beauty and stylist agency. Also, Rihanna is one of the co-owners of the streaming service Tidal. This is along with other prominent artists like Jay-Z, Kanye West, and Beyoncé. Number 1. Kanye West, $1.9 billion. Technically, Kanye West is now dubbed Ye. In practice, most individuals persist in calling him Kanye West anyway. There is much that can be mentioned about him, particularly seeing as how he is one of the most controversial singer of recent years. Whatever the case, there can be no doubt about his melodic skill and business acumen. The $1.8 billion is a lower estimate of his net worth. Forbes thinks that he has already reached the $2 billion mark. If you enjoy the video, please like it. And don't forget to watch more of our videos on the left and right of your screen. See ya!